Hello and welcome, day 3. I hope you are enjoying the content so far. My goal here with this course is to develop a lesson, if you will, playbook that delivers just terrific content for you, the listener, the watcher, right? So education. So I hope you've really enjoyed the first 2 videos where we talked about, okay, here's thyroid 101, here's what the thyroid does. Yesterday we talked about, okay, well, how to, what's a complete bout of testing look like if I want to make sure I have a thyroid problem or if I want to dig deeper into my thyroid problems. And on yesterday's video, so my goal for these is just a lot of content so that you can help get yourself educated on, do I have a thyroid problem? If so, what do I do about it? Okay. If you have questions, I'm here. Please ask me. On yesterday's video, what we talked about was, and the testing wise especially, those last 2 tests is to make sure you get thyroid antibodies checked, right? TGB, TPO, we talked about those yesterday. If you forget, just go ahead and go back, or you missed it, just go ahead and go back and look in your inbox. You probably have an email from me with that video, just like this video, okay? Or you can log into the membership site where all these videos are, and you can rewatch them over and over again. What I want to talk about today, and we're already in the 3rd video in this series, and there's 5 more to come after this. There's 8 total, 5 more to come after this. This one might be the most important because this is the information that I want to get out to people because their doctors are not helping them with it, okay? It's unfortunate, but it's just the way, it's just the reality that we live in. So I'm banging the drum, I'm screaming from the rooftops, hey, listen, everybody, this needs to be looked at and this needs to be dealt with. I don't know why it's not, to be honest with you, okay? So what we're gonna look at here on this screen, and you're gonna have this again as a download PDF so you can print it out. It's yours to keep if you want to discuss it with your doctor or you want to just have it for your own reference. This is the summary of a study, right? Or and there have been many more since, but this was from way back in 1988. Look at that, August of 1988. Okay, and there's the reference right there as far as from the journal that it's from. Okay, and it's titled Autoimmunity and Hypothyroidism. Okay, I'm just going to read this to you, and then we're going to talk about what does this mean. Okay, and you can see I've highlighted some of the more important areas, and again, you have this as a download, it's yours. Let's just read for a sec. Hypothyroidism can be induced by various diseases. Okay, second sentence in. An autoimmune cause accounts for approximately 90%, so basically all, right? An autoimmune cause accounts for approximately 90% of all adult hypothyroidism, that's underactive thyroid, mostly due to Hashimoto's disease, okay? So let's take a step back for those of you who might not know. An autoimmune disease is when your immune system attacks part of you, right? So your immune system is supposed to protect you against foreign invaders, viruses, bacteria, whatever, okay? Anything that we come in contact with, your immune system's like, hey, look, I'll protect you so this thing doesn't infect you or kill you. An autoimmune condition is when your immune system turns inward and starts attacking or firing on you, okay? And starts attacking parts of you that it thinks is a bad guy. Okay, so there's lots of autoimmune diseases out there. You've probably heard of things like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis and MS and things like that. So the way we name an autoimmune disease is just what part of you gets affected, right? So if it's your joints, it's rheumatoid arthritis. If it's your brain, it's MS or multiple sclerosis. If it's your thyroid, it's Hashimoto's. If it goes underactive or hypo, it's Graves' disease if it goes hyper or overactive. Okay. This is huge. This is so huge, and I don't know why in this country we don't address it, right? So autoimmune disease is the cause of thyroid disease 90% of the time. Right? Let that sink in a little bit. That's why it's so important to get those tests done, and especially those antibody tests, because we need to know for sure that that's what's going on. And that's why people aren't getting better, because mainstream medicine doesn't treat this. They don't do anything about it. They treat the hypothyroidism, which is let's treat the symptoms, as opposed to like, wait a minute, this is what's causing this. Why don't we address this and then this gets better? Right? Seems to make sense. And we'll dive deeper into this on the videos that are coming. So an autoimmune cause accounts for approximately 90% of adult hypothyroidism, mostly due to Hashimoto's disease. That's what it's called. The doctor who discovered it was Dr. Hashimoto. The majority of Hashimoto's patients are women aged between 20 and 60 years old. Okay, so that's the majority. Now I have people that I see that are younger than that and older than that, obviously, but that's kind of the meaty part of the curve. Now, also very common, 3 to 8 months postpartum. So tell me if this sounds familiar, right? So especially at 3 to 8 months postpartum, so after the birth of a child, the prevalence of hypothyroidism is very high, 2 to 4%. Okay, but more than 90% of those cases are transient, so they come and go. But there's a large percentage of, I would say, with my patients and clients, people I work with, all over the country and also in my practice, off the top of my head, I would say a good 40 to 50% of them developed this autoimmune condition after the birth of a child. It's very common, very common. So we scroll down, right? Transient hypothyroidism means it comes and it goes, obviously. Observed frequently in the postpartum period, okay? And in the post-thyrotoxic phase of pregnancy, unrelated silent thyroiditis. Again, just kind of reinforcing the fact that we see it happen very commonly after pregnancy in general. For many, it goes away. For some, it does not, because it triggers an autoimmune condition. Here we go here too. In some patients, because I see this all the time, in some patients, including those with Graves' disease, so Graves' disease is autoimmune high, Hashimoto's autoimmune low, stimulating and blocking antibodies, which is why we have to check antibodies, coexist, and thyroid function may change from hyper to hypothyroidism. So you may kind of wax and wane or go from hyper to hypo, or vice versa, hypo to hyper, depending on the balance of the stimulatory and blocking activities. So I get this very commonly. It's like I have symptoms of both, or I was hyper, then I went hypo, or I was hypo, then I went hyper. Okay, again, very common, depending on what's going on with those antibodies. One other important note I want to point out here, because those with thyroid disease are a lot of times are told, oh, take iodine, right? So not with autoimmune thyroid disease, though. I tell my people not to do that. And again, here's proving why. Dietary iodine restriction, so not eating iodine, is helpful in allowing recovery from hypothyroidism, okay, due to this cause, okay. Again, this is from 1988. This is not new research. This has been around a long time. And this is research that's being done by the endocrinologists, the specialists, the MDs, the people who, it blows my mind. I have this talk all the time with people. And it blows my mind because this is their research and they don't follow their own research. Like they don't do anything, about this. So in mainstream medicine in this country, this is the cause 90% of the time. It is ignored or it's mismanaged. There's a reason for it. We're going to continue to dive into it with these trainings. And I hear it all the time. People ask their doctors to test them, and their doctors say, well, we're not going to test you for that because it's not going to change the treatment anyway, because we just treat the hypothyroidism, we just treat the symptoms, because there's no medical treatment for this. But that's why there's so many people out there suffering, and that's why I put together these tutorials, because I want to get to as many of you as I can to teach you, listen, take control of your health. This is the cause most of the time. If you haven't had it checked, you've got to get it checked. If you have had it checked and you have it, let's do something about it. Because, you know, if this is the cause of this problem and we don't address this problem's never going to get better, right? I mean, if you got in your car, if you went out outside your house, started that car up, and the check engine light went on, what would you do? Right? You're not just going to cover up, you know, stick a piece of electrical tape over it and make believe it's not there, and then a week from now, your engine explodes. You're going to take it to the mechanic. You're going to get to the root of the problem. What's causing this check engine light to come on? What's causing the issue? Let's fix the problem. Right? That's what needs to get done. It's not done in mainstream medicine. In my world, that's what's done. But I hope this has been helpful for you. This is huge. Like I said, this might be the most important video I've ever done because people need to know this, and then they need to be able to use this information to take steps moving forward to figure out, okay, well, what's causing the autoimmunity? Why is my immune system doing this? And what can I do to stop it? Because until that's done, if you have this, you can't get better. Can't get better. And again, in the subsequent videos that are coming, hopefully I got you on the edge of your seat for tomorrow now. We're going to dive into all of this and how do we check for this, see if I have it, how do we deal with it, how do I get better? So I hope this was helpful for you today. If you have any questions, you can fire them at me if you'd like to have a consultation with me to discuss all these things. That's always available to you. You find all the links and everything on this page. But hopefully this was helpful for you today, and you're looking forward to tomorrow where I'm going to have some more fun stuff, and we're going to kind of start just continuing to work through thyroid A to Z, and look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day, everyone.